Yo, what's going on, everybody? And Dave65 here, yet again. Sorry this is kind of late for me doing a chapter review for this, but I'm gonna just go ahead and do a chapter review for it for next week. This is for Fairy Tale, chapter 260. Basically, what happens in this chapter, what happens after we know that we may think that uh, the old lady Pushla, I can't say her name right. Again, I'm sorry, I can't say her name right. It starts with a P, and she has like pink hair, and she's like old and stuff. We come to realize that maybe uh Wendy's dragon might be the old lady, and Natsu's like, "Are you sure it's her? I mean, that old lady was Grandine. You know, she had the same voice of the dragon you were looking for." And she's like, "Are you sure?" She's like, and Wendy's like, "I don't know." But that voice, it smelled familiar, like it was like kind of like her mom, I guess, like that's because she raised her as a mom or whatever. The dragon basically raised her, as a daughter. She treats her as a mom, and not to his, his usual self is gonna be like go back in there and try to, talk some sense to the woman or whatever. And Grace telling him, hold on, if Randy had really changed into a human, don't you think it's kind of strange? And Wendy actually makes up a very good point about how the dragons work. Okay, basically, she said the dragon had spirit 7 years ago. It's actually now it's been 14 years in the year 777. Hushla has been an acquaintance of the masters long before that. So I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, if they were the same person, like her sisters were like longer than dragons. Like, wait a minute. In other words, Papusha's existence overlapped the time of when the dragons were still here. In that case, the situation would contradict itself. She wouldn't be both people at once. And Wendy's kind of looking down because after knowing the truth, and dying, like Ray is looking all like serious and whatever. He's like dying, and then being reincarnated is probably unlikely too, isn't it? And she's like, yeah. And people are wondering, like, is she a nice, like, why is she so mean? Happy's like, why is she so mean? And and he tells him, like, Grandy is a very nice dragon. She's not evil, she's not mean or bad or nothing. She's very kind and gentle. And then Papushla comes out, and she's like, well, excuse me for not being gentle. And she's like, and everybody's like all shocked and see her and stuff. And they're like, you surprised us, huh? you know she looks all serious and stuff, and she's telling the gang that I don't have anything to hide from you, so I'll tell you what you want to know, about me, I guess. And she says, I'm not the dragon girl you're looking for, which is Grandine. She is human, bona fide human with skin, flesh, and bone. She's a human. Wendy looks at her, and Natsu brings up a very good point, is like, but you said you hate humans. Well, because we thought that too. Because see, when of course, why would a human say that they hate humans when they're not human? And Babusha argues with that, and she's like, what's wrong with hating humans? And I'm saying, well, I mean, it kind of kind of makes you like wonder, like, what did humans do to make you not hate them so much? Is it just because of how people are? Is it similar to how like the world is now, where like it's dog eat dog world, or people hate each other, trying to kill each other, that type of thing? Does she hate humans for that? We don't know. We'll have to figure it out later. And she goes on to say that, sorry, but I don't know what the dragons are. I don't know anything to do with dragons in any way. And she says, why are you... and when he goes on to ask her, like, well, why are you, know this stuff? And she says, and she goes on to ask the gang, are you aware of the Edolas, the alternate world parallel to our own, correct? That she heard that they met themselves in Edolas. And that was like, they remember Edolas. And she goes on to say this big discovery right here, which we just found out about Fairy Tale, is that if I were put in the perspective of the Earthland's humans, she is the human version of Grandine, which means that in Edelos, where the dragons were, where the all three of the dragons that trained Natsu, Gajeel, and Wendy, they're all human in Edelos, while in Earthland they were dragons. So basically, like they have like I guess they have the same. I guess they have some different characteristics. Where like instead of one being a human, the other one's a demon or a dragon or something like that. And she got lost and stranded in this world for decades, like in decades. So she's been here for like a good long while. And it got me thinking. So like, okay, I guess that means all of the dragons that were trained by Natsu and the others were just dragons and we're just dragons in Earthland, while in Edelos they were humans. And she said she could have gotten Makro to help me get back to the other world, but I eventually grew to like the Earthland. And she had all sorts of chances to return, in fact, but she just told to stay here. So when the magic, I forgot the name of that freaking magic that sucks up all the people from Earthland to Edelos. I forgot that magic. It was at the top of my head. I can't remember it, but it sucks all the people from Earthland and turns them into Lacrima. I forgot what it was called, but it was that one that they always brought up in during that Edelos arc. Dang. Anyway, and she goes on to say, does that mean that Igneal and Metalonica are humans too? And that does she know them or whatever? Not to ask Grandine, I mean not Grandine, but Portula, that are they human up there too? Portula says no, I don't know. She has not met them before or ever. But she has talked to the Sky Dragon before, and of course I have met her. They spoke through my heart with magic. So basically, in Edelos and in Earthland, the dragons and the humans that are connected to them can communicate through, I guess, magic and telepathic wavelength or something of that nature. And Popushla gives Wendy papers, and she's saying like, you want to get stronger, right? Well, I wrote these magic spells for you. They exactly how the Sky Dragon told me to. And the two magics are air magics. One is called Milky Way. The other is called Shining Wave Air Drill. These are secret dragon slaying techniques she left for you. So that's a good thing. When Wendy's gonna get stronger, she's gonna learn these magics. She's gonna try to train herself to become stronger. That's really good development. I like that. And Wendy's all happy, like she's like, this is for me, and she's thanking her, and she's telling basically called her Grandine, and that kind of bring a smile to like Papusha's face, for once, because we never see that bitch smile. Meanwhile, in the Fairy Tale guild, Romeo and Marco are basically arguing, saying we gotta do it. No. Like, we decided to participate in that again, and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, not too many others come back and saying we're back, and one of the guys is like, "Oh, did you bring some of the wonderful pills that were supposed to give us powerful magic?" Meanwhile, Romeo's still arguing with his dad. Everyone's saying, "What's the problem?" Being all funny like usual, and supposedly there is this big, I guess you could say, tournament, or I guess a grand magic games. It's kind of like a Olympics. I guess it's kind of like the Olympics for like, I guess, wizards. I suppose. I mean, because it's called the Grand Magic Games, and basically all the people from different guilds show up their skills to see who's the best guild in the world, and blah blah blah. And everybody's all excited. The Grand Magic Games. Oh, that sounds like fun. Sounds like a festival and all that mess. And they're basically saying Fairy Tail become #1 guild in Fior. And what else happens? Oh yeah, Markov is basically thinking like, do we think we can win with our magic powers it is now? I mean, we're kind of weak and stuff right now at the moment. And Marco was like, yeah, of course we can do it. And Romeo explains to Markov that if we win, the guild gets 30,000 jewel prizes. I think it's 30 million jewel prize. I think I can't. I don't understand how that works, but I don't know how that works in jewel wise. It's just confusing. But anyway, uh, Max is all excited, like, here we go, let's fight, let's do it, because he loves making money, I guess. And they're saying it's impossible that Sabretooth's gonna be there, and Tenma, Blue Pegasus, and Lamy Scale is gonna be there too, and blah blah blah. And Max is like not worried at all. And while Natsu, he's getting all fired up as usual and saying he lost it. And then it's going to be happening in 3 months from now. And Natsu saying that's plenty of time. We'll get ourselves in shape by then. Fair to be #1 guild in Fiora like always before. Nothing we can accomplish, saying all that good stuff. And Wendy's gonna try to train her new magic that she's gonna learn from Grandine. Everybody's all happy and all that stuff, and all that stuff. Oh, and it's not a battle festival, by the way. It's just, I guess it's just a magic festival. People aren't gonna be able to fight or anything on here, so it's just gonna be like, I guess, a competition wise. You have to show your skills and without having to battle somebody. And we're also already going. Let's skip the chit chat and all the whining and chit chat has got to go. That's what Master said. For those 3 million, yeah, it's 3 million. 3 million jewels. My bad. It's 3 million jewels. 30 million jewels. Yeah. And he's like, trying to be funny and say like, oh, let's aim for those 30 million. I mean, let's aim for being #1 in the, Fior again. And there was like Team Fairy Tail. Their goal has been decided. The Reborn Fairy Tail Spectacular Entrance. We're going to tear apart in the game, Magic Grant games. Well, basically, I thought it was kind of lame that they're already trying to get their way to the top. I think they should have waited one more chapters before they start trying to become #1 again. I just think the game seemed kind of like an innuendo, or just a plot device to try to get them back to the top again. And I find that it's not cool. And one thing really confused me was, where was Gajeel? Like, where I did not see him at all in this, in the background or anything. I mean, was he doing something else? Did he leave? Did he do something else? And I also like the fact that, Wendy is gonna, be learning new magic, and she's trying to get stronger, and all that stuff. That's really cool. Overall, this chapter, I give it a 3 out of 5. It would get the extra 4, but the whole magic games, like, it can seem like they were trying to ease their way back into trying to be cool, trying to be like at the top again, when they could have been a different multiple ways to get to the top again. But I guess the magic games have to do for now. I guess maybe some interest will happen. Maybe Sabretooth will be there to give us a good fight, and maybe show Fairy Tail that they're not the only top guild in Fiora like they used to. And I'm hoping they really need to train more, and they need to lose some battles. I'm sorry, like Fairy Tail, you gotta lose some battles if you want to get stronger, because all this winning and friendship power is not bullshit. It's not gonna help it. I'm sorry. That's about it. Comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me you guys think of the chapter. I'm Anthony65, and I'm out. Peace, sayonara, and all the good stuff.